some reason it's always
It's always taking a minute.
yeah, it takes a minute especially with the screen recorder. It's a little bit different. Check on yours, Lahab, just in case.
We live.
Can you hear us or no?
Yeah.
All right.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone to rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there pushing this truth with all diligence and sincerity, risking your freedoms and your lives to do so. All right, this is June the 22nd of the 20th year, 2020. Yeah, the 22nd. And we just gonna make this an open forum, man. There's so many things that's going out, just coming to pass, because we living in a time of apocalypse. And the word apocalypse, it doesn't just mean something that's it's destruction. No, the word itself literally means to reveal or unveil, man. Right. When you get to the end of any type of movie or a book, it's like all the secrets, everything that was found out that you was wondering, like, what was that in the beginning? What was this? That's how you make an excellent book. You reveal all those things in the end because it's nearing towards its done. Just like right now, we're nearing towards the done in the sunset of the kingdom of Esau, Edom, man.
Right. Let me get this for you then. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, and as the brother said, we're at the basically the end of Esau's kingdom, and then the Lord is showing us particular signs, okay, and tokens that they reveal unto us that we're at the end of this man's society. Right. Okay, and some of these things are this dollar crashing, the RFID chip being put into place, him being revealed for who he really is, which is Esau Edom, which is the so-called white man. All right, the Israelites waking up to who they are in the land of their captivities, all right, which is the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and also our brethren that look like the heathen. All right, there's so much, man. You got, we were talking about it before we started the lesson. This man has all his statues and idols of himself that have been put up for centuries. They're slowly being taken down now. Okay, and these are symbols of I guess you could say of him being in power, man. Like for example, we were talking about how you have that famous Teddy Roosevelt statue of him being on the horse, and you have the the Gadite and the Judite, okay, on each side. That's out there in New York. I think it's New York, if I'm not mistaken. That statue is being taken down. Okay? And then, you see all these statues that were actually, being defaced. And actually, people were, breaking them, throwing them down, cutting the heads off. Things like that, man.
I got a couple precepts for you.
All right, yeah, speak up, Tuak.
This Isaiah 25, verse 7. He said, he would destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that spread it over all nations. And that's what the Lord is doing, man. Hey, he got the man of the Lord, because according to Wisdom of Solomon, right? Salakia. Fucking hard. According to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, verse 1, it say, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. And that's what the man of the Lord is doing. Hey, you got man across the world is what? Exposing Esau, man. All the lies. And that's what you're starting to see at the end of this movie, this climax. Hey, the end of Esau kingdom, man. Hey, we exposing him left and right. Hey, we showing you that the economy is through. Hey, his resources is failing him. Hey, that we are rising up. Hey, we couldn't do this back in the 60s, man. Hey, man couldn't preach. Hey, we would get hanged. We would get killed. Hey, our family get captured. But look, we rising up and showing them, hey, with the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We showing them that that a transition of a kingdom, man. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's bringing this man low and bringing us up on high, man. All the lies he exposed, he told us. Hey, that white Jesus, man, that when you go to Sunday, is that big ass picture. Hey, but guess what? Hey, Yahweh Shai is a black man, man. Hey, it tell you that in Revelations, the first chapter, man. The revealing what? Of the Lord. So now people can have no excuse who this so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the devil, really is, man.
That's right.
You got any more? You got something, Hub?
Yeah, I'm gonna get this in 2 Thessalonians.
Speak up, Hub.
Just one second. It's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse I'm gonna start at verse 4. It says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things on who this person is and this group of people, and now ye know, and what withhold is that he might be revealed in his time." So now this is the time wherein the end of the devil's reign is come to its climax, man. It's come to its final end, man. You know, first off, everybody is now noticing who the devil is, man. That's what you do before you make a big break or you take over a town. Yeah, you understand who's pushing out the oppression, man. You understand who's the biggest problem in the earth. Who can we really do to fuck without, man? What would make life a lot easier? Even though other nations are starting to realize this, man. If this devil is, it starts with him not being in power, but then it's another, hey, why should he even fucking exist? Look what he's done to make everything else not exist, man. It says, verse 7, it says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, who is Esau Edom. Only who now letteth will let, which is the Most High, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." Who is the Lord coming back to fuck up, man? Who is the man that's on top that has the audacity and the madness to try to fight against the Lord? Who has the technology at that? This guy. Who the fuck is Esau Edom? The so-called white man, man. We know who this guy is now. And now that the rest of the world is starting to realize who the real Israelites are, who his counterpart twin brother is, his evil, wicked twin brother is, and all these pieces are starting to come into play as what this Bible has to say is absolutely true, man.
I got a precept for you. It's Isaiah 11. Verse 4. Now, when you read this chapter, of course we know this talking about Yahweh Shai. But guess what? We come in the spirit of who? Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? So it say, "But with the righteous shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meat of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked." And that's what's starting to happen, man. Hey, with the man of the Lord out here exposing Esau, man. Hey, we exposing him on all levels. The atrocities that he have done to our people, and he are doing it to this day. Hey, we can go down to the chain. Unrighteous decrees. Hey, child support. Hey, we go and work our ass off in these companies, and he get all the money, man. It tell you in the curses of Deuteronomy that he shall be the head and we shall be the tail. It said if we didn't serve our power, that these heathens shall what? Rule over us. So, hey, all these things, and we is telling our people, hey, return back to the Heavenly Father, man. Hey, that this rulership, this kingdom is through. Hey, if you have hope in America, are you a dumbass, man? Because it ain't this place ain't coming back, man. This place is through and it's on its last leg, man. Hey, just read Daniel the 2nd chapter, man. It tell you that this kingdom shall be divided, man.
Well, I got one for you, Akima. This is Isaiah 14:4. That thou shalt take up this parable against the king of Babylon. All right, and who's the king of Babylon? Who's the modern king of Babylon? Who is ruling, this current Babylon? All right, you can go read, Psalms 137, all right, which it pretty much says that the daughter of Babylon, okay, is ruled by Esau. When you go get into you'd have to break it down, and this is that would be a whole nother lesson within itself. But basically, the woman who's riding the beast Okay? Who does that represent? You know? We understand that that's talking about, you got Babylon the Great in America. Which who's running America? Esau. All right? You got that, what is it, the parable of Lazarus? Mm-hmm. That goes into it. All right? But we all know that Esau is the king of Babylon right now. But let me keep reading. It says, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the serpent, or it's like in the scepter of the rulers. And that's right. You see, all right, the Lord breaking this this power structure of Esau. All right, he's doing a little here, a little there. We see you see his economy failing. You see the people turning up against him. You see his crops, and natural resources failing. You see the rising of the people, so on and so forth. The Lord is slowly taking this man out of power. His people, his own people, are divided within themselves.
Yeah.
That shows you that there's a downfall, especially when you have your own people battling each other, and you got some of their own people who are supporting us. You got a lot of these, in these BLM, rallies and all that stuff. You see a lot of Edomites in there. We're not talking about confusion of faces. We're talking about strictly, straight up Edomites.
Well, guess what? It was Antifa signs downtown and in places like River North when they first had the little rioting bullshit over here, man. They had the different Antifa symbols. And guess what? Antifa is a what you would call a so-called Caucasian or white organization, man.
Nope. You got their women that are like, wanting to deal with Jake,
Yeah.
That's just...
It's a like it, because, even in slavery, man, what would they do? If we dealt with their woman, they would kill us. They'll lynch us. They cut up our dicks, all type of things, man. But look at this world today. Jake walked down with a so-called white lady, which is an Edomite, and look, ain't nothing happened, man. That's how you can tell that this kingdom is through, man.
Well, that's the reason why they got their the good old boys is hopping out now, man, because they're trying to defend their way of life or their existence, because they feel like they're going to be wiped off the map if they don't do something about these niggas, man. It's somewhere, and which is true, and righteously, shit, Jake wouldn't even have to really do shit, and we would still end up taking over, man. We would end up taking over naturally because that's how the Lord created it. But it's going to take the Lord to come back and show you that he's not going to do away with his people, man. But yeah, Esau is dwindling in numbers. They hopping out on Jake in groups of 5 and 6 or more, and trying to catch a Jake alone and then have your ass, we found him committing suicide. Have your ass hanging somewhere, man.
I'm going to jump down. This is Isaiah 14. I'm going to go to 11. Thy pomp, which is their pride, is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And that worms, basically, they represent like corruption and corrosion. Okay? Because, a worm, it will eat away at things. And basically, that's what's happening. From the inside out, this man is, being destroyed. His whole infrastructure, through. He's behind in technology. He's actually really behind in technology. All right? Especially the American Edomite. They're behind. Because when you actually look at the other Edomites, they have way more advancements. Okay? Moab, has its advancements. Okay? These American Edomites, these Babylonian Edomites are done, man. They're at an all-time low. All right?
I got a precept for you.
Con.
Hey, this Sirach 10 and 8. It say, because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by sea. And who is this talking about? It's talking about Esau Edom, man. Hey, what did this man have done? He robbed, steal, murder, and what? Come into your land and put you in slavery, man. So just because you done this wouldn't happen. It say the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So now the Lord is finna do these same things to you. Hey, all these nations that you conquer and kill, hey, they finna come spoil your ass, man. Hey, because according to Isaiah, this I believe 31, Salakia, 33 and 1. It say, woe to thee that spoileth, and that will not spoil. and dealt treacherously, and dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, there shall be spoil, and that's what's coming upon America, man. Hey, with all this war that's pump up, man. Hey, all these other nations, hey, getting mad because Esau breaking all the treaties that he said that he was gonna agree to. Hey, these nations is mad. It's finna come down on you, man. It's saying, when thou shalt make an end to dealt treacherously, there shall deal treacherously with thee, man. And they finna come upon you. Just not us, but these nations too, man.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Bible Kashan.
Can I get this? Let me finish this out. Back in Isaiah 14:12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? And that represents, all right, Lucifer goes into, what does that mean? Okay, light bearer. All right, who's the ones that are on high? Who has this, knowledge? The elites, okay? And it says, when it says, how is thou fallen from heaven, that goes into their rulership, okay? Because when you're in heaven, hey, you're in a good estate, man. You're like, you're happy, you're joyful. But see, when you're in hell, that means you're in a low, estate. You're suffering, you're in pain. So how have they fallen? It's ultimately because of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahshua. It's going to explain it. Okay, it says, it says, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? All right, and they did. The Edomite nation, they destroyed, people at one point, man. They were look. It even talks about that in the scriptures, how America, it was the hammer of the earth. All right. At one point, America was able to do anything because they had that muscle, so to speak, man. It had that weaponry to put people in check, But see, we're at a point now where, as the scriptures say in Joel, the 3rd chapter, I believe it is, where it says the weak nations shall say they are strong.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they have the same technology now, and they're also, instead of being divided, they're in unison to do what? To fight this place.
Yeah, and you read that in what? Ezekiel the 39th chapter, man. It say that Russia, Magog, and God shall what? Come to these all foreign nations shall seek him. Yeah. That means Russia, man. It should be a guard to him. Salaki, you got it. You got it.
Exactly. Hey, they should be a guard unto these, weaker nations. And it goes into it. It talks about Persia. It talks about Ethiopia. Okay, the north quarters, which that's talking about the African nations, man. All right. You'll read it, Ezekiel 38, man. It'll get into it. All right. But I'm gonna keep reading this in Isaiah 14 and 13 now. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. All right, and they've done that. They've because the stars represent the nation of Israel. Okay, they've have exalted themselves above us. They think that they're better than us. And that's because the Lord ultimately put us down. But they think they really think that they're better than us. And then physically speaking, hey, these people have literally put up satellites and all sorts of space stations in the heavens, man.
That's right.
And then they really think that they're gonna outperform the Most High. That's how prideful they are. It's crazy, man. It says, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And you see, that's what's going to happen, man. The Lord's about to bring you down. And we're seeing it. You're literally spiraling down the drain. You're basically free falling, all right? You know how when you got those, what do you call it, those skydivers? That, they start free falling? That's what's happening to Esau. He's free falling, but his parachute isn't coming out. It's not ejecting.
Yeah.
And eventually he's going to hit that ground, man. He's going to come to that crash, man. And he's about to be put down. And he's going to go into slavery, and then afterwards he's going to be exterminated.
All right.
Y'all can got scriptures. Let me check this real quick. Yeah, that's basically it for this scripture here.
I got a precept for you. This Revelations 13 and 9 and 10. It say, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that lead into captivity shall go into captivity. And that's what it is. Hey, since this man, Esau, Edom, been in the power, he been nothing what? It's putting us in slavery. So what's the end of him? That's slavery, man.
Yep.
It say he shall kill with the sword I mean, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, man. He did nothing but kill with the sword, man. Hey, that's what his blessing, man. Hey, Isaac, and bless him that he should have the fountain of the world, the
dew of heaven.
The dew of heaven, and it tell you in Revelations what that the great dragon shall have a sword and take peace from the earth. Yeah. So that's what he had done. He had conquered all this stuff. Hey, now what? He still think he gonna rule forever, man. But guess what? We got news for you. You are going into slavery, Esau. It say here's the patience and the faith of the saints, man. And that's what we waiting on. We waiting on the Lord to return, because we can't take this man down. Hey, the Lord blessed him with the sword. He blessed him with the army. He blessed him with this technology, man. He said that he was wiser than Daniel. So it's gonna we have to wait on the Lord to take this man down. And that's what we waiting on. We coming to the climax of this movie, man. And we can't wait till the Lord set us and put us in power.
You got some love?
Yeah, this is Jeremiah 49, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. This is Jeremiah 49 and 10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren."
But to that first part, Esau is being made bare. All right, first and foremost, by whom? The prophets. Okay, the prophets are the ones that are given these secrets. All right, was it Amos 3 and 7? The Lord revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. Okay, that's first and foremost, and the Lord's using us. We're the tools. All right, the mouthpiece of the Lord and exposing this man. But then you also have what? All these, other Edomites exposing what? Other Edomites, the government and all that, on their wickedness. Heathens, leaking out information. Okay? So this man is being exposed. He's really being shown, he's basically, what's the word I'm looking for? For lack of words, he's being exposed for for whom he really is and what he really is. All right? Nothing but a thief, a murderer, a robber. All these things.
Shit, actually, let me skip on down. I really wanted verse 16, but this is Jeremiah 49.
A little bit more though. It's lucky. I'm just curious because I know there was some good stuff in here. What does 8 say? Actually, can you start at 7?
Come. This is Jeremiah 49 and 7. "Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman?"
Yeah, because at one point, these Edomites were wise. They actually really were to a degree. Okay? The Lord did, bless them. Even though they're complete fools at the same time, but the Lord gave them, some worldly wisdom. And now that that wisdom is, is being depleted, man. The Lord is, taking it away from them. You look at these modern day Edomites compared to these, you watch these movies from the 1960s, 50s, or you even you still got some of these, Edomites who are a little bit older. They're wise, man. But you look at their, their children, their grandchildren, their great grandchildren. These modern day Edomites are buffoons, man. They're going back to their natural estate, man, which is nothing but a caveman.
Come on.
A fool, a lowlife, a degenerate. Keep going on.
It says, "Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished?"
Yeah, has their wisdom vanished? And it has. It's vanishing. Look, all their worldly wisdom is, going down the drain. Their spiritual, counsels are going down the drain. Because look, those it talks about that. I think it's in Isaiah. It talks about the prognosticators. Okay, those soothsayers. I think that's also in Micah.
Isaiah 49.
Yep. Yeah. Talks about that, I believe, also in Micah. Where it's look, all your magicians and your wizards. Okay, all these these witches on the left-hand side, all that stuff is failing you. See, because those evil spirits, which actually work for the Heavenly Father, are lying to you now. They're not giving you the correct, breakdowns in knowledge now. And that's because your time is about to be up. Is there any more?
Yeah, this is Jeremiah 49. But I just want to skip down to the... Because I don't know, did you want that in there?
No, actually, I just wanted that 7 and 8. I believe it was, and then you can just jump down.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to that.
You didn't get 8, though?
No, I didn't get 8.
Okay.
It says in verse 8, it says, "Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the dun, for I will bring the calamity to Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him."
Yep, and that stuff is coming. Hey, you elites got to run. You got to run soon. But it's funny, you're going to run away to really fulfill prophecy. And you're going to get snatched up.
Yeah. Okay, this is verse I'm gonna start at verse 14. It says, oh yeah, that was 16. Yeah, I'm gonna start at verse 14. It says, "I have a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together and come against her, rise up to the battle." Right, because the Lord he's talking about gather yourself for the end time, man. You know, because it all started with what? When Esau going into space, that said his declaration that he was prepared. He was preparing himself to fight against the Lord, man. All right, it says, "For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Thy terribleness have deceived thee." Yeah, since you've been allowed to do all these things to the people, to the earth, manipulate things to your liking, you know, thinking that you the Most High himself, just walking throughout the earth, committing atrocities, you know, guess what? You let that deceive you into thinking that the Lord is all together with the wickedness that you're doing, that he's with you and he's going to lead you onto a prosperous journey, and you won't see no hell at the end of the day. You're mistaken. It says, "In the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh." Right. Because like I said, it pretty much, the end of your kingdom started when you went into outer space, man. It really, truly started when you went into outer space. Because prior in the 60s, I believe we was still on a silver standard around that time, right? It was still money back in the dollar.
Yeah, because I think it was the 70s. That's when they turned it into that petrol. It was the petrodollar.
Yeah,
in the 70s.
Yeah, so you still had a little. It was nice to be an Edomite, man. Then you start slowly climaxing. In the 70s, you still had a little good, but the revolution started coming, man.
Yeah, really, it was like the end of the 60s, because they even say it in these textbooks that during around the 1950s to like 60s, that was the so-called golden era, because basically all Edomites were doing well at that point, even though slavery wasn't, intact, that hardcore slavery, but Edomites were doing well. They all had good jobs. They were all living in the suburbs. We're talking about nice suburbs where you had those old Victorian homes. All right. They had about 2-3 cars, a boat. Their wife was able to stay home. They were able to, have multiple children. Everything was cool, man. But it was around those late 60s, because what happened? It was the Vietnam War. Because basically and they even showed you that the Lord wasn't with you anymore, because all these wars prior, you were winning, everything was cool. The Vietnam War, it was basically a stalemate. You couldn't do anything. You got to a certain point with those I don't know if they're Moabites, Japhites. I don't know what's over there in Vietnam like that. Okay, but those either those Moabites, Ammonites, or Japhites, all right, in Vietnam, you got stopped, man. You couldn't do anything. And that showed you that you were losing power. Then you had all the uprisings in America. You had what? You had Jacob rising up. You had your people, doing what they call, that flower power era, where people were getting into drugs. Your people in specific,
psychedelics,
getting into psychedelics, getting using a lot of weed. All right, doing the heavier drugs too, because what was coming out of that, shortly after, what? Heroin.
Yep. Okay,
mainly heroin, cocaine too. And it was your people that were on it. And you've always been the dope head, but at one point you were like cleaned up, so to speak.
Right. That's the only reason why you would have a war on drugs, was because it was starting to affect their community.
Yep. And they're the ones that always used it and brought it in, but it became like I said, they were cleaned up and they were looking good for a long time. Then all of a sudden, that stuff started to affect, how you said, affect their community. You know. But that was your downfall. That was the start of your downfall. And then what was happening too? Ultimately, the prophets were rising up. The Lord put the spirit back in them. The wisdom, the holy breath, man. You got more?
No, that's pretty much it on it. Well, now, one more verse. Verse 17, it says, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. Right, because every time we go by, to see the slaves of Edom doing whatever work we have them do, it's going to be a vile thing to even look at their ass, man. Not only because of things that they done on this side, man, it's going to show that these people are the men of sin, man. They like, damn, the Lord jacked these people up. That's how you going to know who the fuck Esau Edom is. You think the Lord fucked us up, man. The Lord's about to fuck Esau up. Well, and in captivity, he's going to be looking just terrible, man, until we destroy his ass.
That's right, because, hey, that's how you also can tell that this man, who this man really is. Because, hey, when you read in the book of Maccabees, hey, what did it say? When Alexander perished, hey, the 4 generals, when they put it on his crown, what half the world did? Hey, none but wickedness, man. And that's how you can tell who is in the power seat.
And it says in Proverbs, the 29th chapter, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases. What is transgression? It's sin. All right, and what's sin? That goes into breaking of the laws.
That's right.
And they're the one that basically allow you to break laws. Because they don't follow the standard of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Hey, but you know what's so crazy? Hey, when you get swear in by the president, what did they put their hand on? The Bible. What did Trump get swear in? Hey, the Holy Bible, the 1611, with the Apocrypha in there. Proving that this ain't this not a God-fearing country, man.
They're hypocrites and they're mocking the Most High. And that's why, going back, because we did that lesson about the chariots of the Most High, that's why Zechariah, the 5th chapter, talks about how the chariots, with Yahweh Shai and the other angels are going to come, all right, into the house of the thief, in the house of them that sweareth.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
and
right.
you Edomites got a lot of stuff coming to you, but you got any other scriptures out? I got one last scripture to end it off. This is Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter and the 8th verse. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. Okay? And this is a beautiful thing. We're at the end of this man's rulership. At the beginning of it was terrible. It was terrible, man. Nothing but, going back to what the brother said. Because really, Esau, he got into power first with whom? Alexander. All right? Then it went from, that Greek captivity to the Roman captivity. Then, they got put into slavery, and then they came back into power during what? The Renaissance. Mm-hmm. But we're at the very end of this man's rulership, and it's a beautiful thing. Because after this, the earth is going to be quiet. Everything's going to be, singing, as the scriptures talk about. Everything's going to be, joyful. Tranquility is really coming, man.
That's right.
And it says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. And who's got that proud spirit? Esau. All right, and who has that meek and patient and humble spirit? The elect of the nation of Israel.
Yep.
And look, hey, Esau, you got this blessing. It was a temporal blessing. All right, it was a quick blessing, and that's how your forefather liked it, man. Wanted to get that, that meat in that soup, man. That stew. Wanted to get that right away instead of letting it be fully cooked. And, that showed you how what kind of people you are, man. See, our people, hey, we're a patient and a humble, group, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
That's right.
And we're about to inherit the kingdom forever. And it's going to be a beautiful thing, man.
That's right.
Come on, end it. Hey, you got it, Doc. You got it, Doc.
Hey, and man, through the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, this man finna be destroyed, man. Hey, we can't wait till the Lord return, because guess what? Hey, when this man fall, hey, our kingdom is going to rise, and then we going to be in rulership forever, according to Daniel the 7, man. So with that, we going to call law, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostle and great millstone, our teachers, and salutations to the argument teaching this truth of the folk on the urban true and city, wisdom their life week in, week out, man. We hope this lesson will edify. Until next time, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
And a ball.
A ball.